series is part of a brainchild with my mentor, the late Johnny Smith. And we wanted to encourage and inspire others by bringing authors to the Winder Public Library. This evening, we have Dr. Johnson-Morgan. She is a multifaceted, phenomenal woman. She has a rich background in education, advocacy, art, spirituality. She embodies a passionate commitment to creating a more inclusive, compassionate, and harmonious world through her diverse talent, experience, and her endeavors. Without further ado, I present to you Dr. Johnson-Morgan.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, Dedra Walker, for being able to just be here today to share my heart. Art is my heart, right? So, and I would not be here today if it wasn't for art. And when I had moments in my childhood where I felt like I couldn't go on any further, or I felt like I needed time in a space to be able to express myself in a safe way, I would write. I would journal, and I would write poetry. And it was a way that helped me to be able to process my life and to heal. And so I tell young people to write. Don't worry about grammar, don't worry about what people think, because you're just writing for you. Express yourself. And when you express yourself, you start to heal, because you're releasing. And there's so much power in releasing. And in releasing, you also recognize and internalize your own personal power. And so that's just the power of writing. And you know, we have many of our artists of the times, like James Baldwin. We have our singers like Nina Simone and Billie Holiday, who used art to also participate in the social justice movements of our time, to also tell our stories and our histories boldly, bravely, and unapologetically, right? And so I think we have now today the responsibility as authors, as poets, as artists, to continue that legacy of telling our truth, especially when people are trying to suppress our voices. And we can do it in so many different mediums. So what I'm going to share with you all today is a little bit about a journey for me, telling my story, and also some expressions around me as a Black Jewish person. And today is the first day of Passover. And Passover is an amazing holiday. It's one of my favorite holidays that really tell the story of freedom of us, our people. We were enslaved in Egypt, and how we journeyed in this path for freedom. And so for me, as a Black Jewish woman, what freedom means to me is not just the physical freedom, the shackles released from our ancestors, but it's also this mental and this spiritual freedom. And really understanding that I need to free my mind in order for me to truly be the greatest person that I can be. So when I walk in a room, my ancestors are with me, and they are free too. Because I know who I am, and I know that they come with me, and I know that they speak with me. And so now I call my ancestors to this space, and y'all can call your ancestors to this space, because this is who we are. We are centuries of those before us. We live and breathe their legacy, their power, their glory. You want to call your ancestors? You want to name someone?
I call Chancellor Williams. Chancellor Williams. I call Anita Hutchinson. Ask them to come and join us in this space. Yes.
My great-grandmother died Oh, man. I'm gonna call the same family, Fuller and Wilker, and
All right.
Brown family.
All right.
And I'll say the Scruggs, Kareem Scruggs, Jimmy Walker.
Scruggs and Walker. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. You want to share?
What was the question?
And it's the same family, the Scruggs family,
Yeah.
like our ancestors.
Yes. Well, thank you all so much. They are here with us. They're in this space. And so this is the freedom that we continue to live and breathe, right? Yes. It's fighting for freedom and remembering our ancestors and all that they've gone through. So I'm going to share with you all the first poem from my book, Freedom Dreams. And this poem is called Freedom Dreams. For those who wonder why I advocate, sacrifice, and fight so hard, this is why. We fight for our collective freedom. We are not hateful extremists or bad gangs, so don't judge us negatively because we choose this hard path. Instead, support us and try to understand that our work is necessary as we impact change. If you choose not to be an activist or advocate, that is your prerogative. But please don't demonize, punish, or ridicule us for the work we do. We need empathy, understanding, care, support, and love. We all have a part to play in making our world a better place, and we must work together. Many activists struggle, speak out, and stand together with hope that one day we will all be free. We want to survive and thrive in a world that embraces the greatness of all people. We have dreams of equality, justice, humanity, peace, love, and freedom. Connected that to the activism work, I said, as artists, we are also activists, and I wanted to embrace that and share that with you all. The next poem I'm going to read is actually a poem that's inspired by Maya Angelou and Paul Laurence Dunbar. It's called The Mask. And so this is my version of The Mask, but just know it was inspired by theirs. So if you ever hear Maya Angelou talk about The Mask, she talks about Paul Laurence Dunbar and how his poem inspired her. And now I am inspired by both of them, and here is The Mask I Wear. The mask I wear is adorned in sequins and fragrance with myrrh. It is covered in vibrant colors, and it becomes my public face. And you see my eyes peering at you, with the edges of the mask pressing against my temples, somehow constricting the tears from flowing from my face. But like whales, my eyes fill up with pain, rising from my soul like rivers, barely overflowing. My eyes hold back the long suffering of generations of pain. I still endure because I live the same injustice. I feel the torture of my people, and the terror tears away at my spirit. My heart cries out to save them. My fight is focused on their liberation and mine. I wear this mask with a demure smile, and like forced entry, my lips part and my teeth appear. In the shadows, just standing there for the comfort of you, to ease your betrayal, to redeem your guilt. And I choose not to violate you. So I press my lips like a tightly balled fist. And yet I wear the masks, trying to overlive this life handed to me, every day struggling to thrive. I wear this mask with a smile. It hides my scars and mutes my screams. The howling yelps in the midnight go unheard because I put on this mask with the rising of the sun, smiling like the ends of an upright rainbow. But my soul silently mourns the death of my ancestors and my dreams deferred. And I try to sing, but the oppressive bars trap my freedom. They deny me of my rights, and the mask creates a complicity that enslaves me. I am persecuted with their deception, and they lead me on. They allow me to have their freedom, and I am used and abused. So I wear this mask. I wear this mask to survive in this world that does not accept me. And still, I smile. I wear this mask disguising my sorrows. I smile when I should cry. Not for you, but for me, hoping I could heal myself. With the grins I give and the sounds of my song, deep from my bosom and rising up from my bowels, I release a hearty laughter. Who am I? You would never know, because you do not choose to see me. So I wear my mask with my smile to protect my heart from your intolerance and hate. I wear this mask to cover my torn and tormented soul that hides the hideous hurt you hurled. I wear my mask to live, and I try to keep smiling. I wear this mask for you, hoping you would not discover the blood underneath, the scrapes on my flesh, the scars on my skin, my marred face brutalized by your secret hate. So I smile as I wear the mask, determined not to give you power over me. I smile ever so gently to calm your insecurities from the fire you feel raging inside of me. If you see me without this mask, I may just be dead. Thank you. Freedom. I learned something about freedom today. It's a spiritual experience of being and joy. It is not just about the pursuit of happiness and finding true love, but it is being in a place of utter comfort because of self-acceptance. It is the relief you feel after you arrive to your warm home from the freezing cold. It is the life breath you take after being underwater. It is the elation of being released from a cage. Freedom is like coasting in the clear blue sky. It is the wind flowing beneath your wings, carrying you to the heavens. Freedom is experiencing God when you realize her beauty. You are truly liberated when you know that you are all you need, and the glory of the universe exists not externally, but it moves within the core of your very being. The power you generate from the awareness of who you are sparks the light from your spirit, and your energy moves in waves like the rolling sea. It meanders through the land like deep rivers, and it sings songs of deliverance. Judgments and assumptions are impenetrable, and negative words are meaningless. Jealousy, hate, envy are muted, and nothing or no one can cage the bird that knows her voice. She sings her songs of emancipation and calls to her ancestors to celebrate who she is and who they are living within her body. She is the dream they hope to come true, the stars they followed beaming from the midnight sky, and the God they prayed to. She is the love of her life and theirs too. Thank you. So this song, I'm from Texas, y'all. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about this poem. My mother picked cotton. Y'all know in Texas, Juneteenth, the story is a story when people were offered their freedom, or they were informed that they were now free. And there was a decision that some people had to make. They were enslaved on the plantations. The decision was, you can sharecrop or you can go. My family decided to stay and sharecrop and work the fields. So they were free, but they weren't free, right? So my great-grandmother stayed on this plantation and worked. My grandmother stayed on the plantation and worked, and my mother stayed on the plantation and worked. Now she got paid for it. She was young, right? She got paid for it. But it's amazing, we still have family on this land. And it's called Swede Road, and the Texas Historical Commission has stories about our family, so you can look it up. But it's a really interesting history of connecting directly to this land that my ancestors worked on, were enslaved on. And so this story is this poem is really a story about my mother. It's called Mama. I'm gonna use a little bit of my accent from Texas, but I have a picture in this book of my mother, which you have to see. She was a little girl in this picture, standing in front of a shack that our family built. It's basically wood. I mean, they had the outhouse and the well. I remember going, I was like, I used to hate going to the country as a young kid because you had the slop bucket under the sink, then you had the outhouse, you had to go and poop in the, it just wasn't, and then you had the well, you literally, like, this is like, I had this experience, right? And then you had, in the middle of the living room, there was this stove that gave, it was a heater, and it was a stove, and you had to put wood in it. Are y'all familiar with, yeah? And then okay, so, and then there was a big pipe that went up to the smoke, okay, all of that. And it's just very interesting experience, and so I at the time I didn't like going, and as I grew older, I'm very much connected to the experiences of getting burnt by that heater in the middle of the living room because I accidentally got too close to it, right? And seeing the outhouse, and you know, in the cold, you had to go out and use the restroom, you had to go over there, or, you know, getting water from the well. So this is called Mama. Mama, I see you, your eyes peering through the photo, telling me stories and secrets you have never told, like running to the outhouse under the midnight moon, like Mr. Jackson from Charleston being sold, like climbing the dogwood tree to escape and hide, like picking cotton under the southern sun, like running in the prairie barefooted and free, like gazing at the fields and admiring the countryside, then remembering and noticing the scrapes on your flesh from the white cotton plants and the long-stemmed yellow roses from switches pulled from the perennial bushes, blooming purples in the summertime. I see you, Mama, looking at me, barefooted in the decrepit wood, dressed tattered in front of the shack you called home. I know the stories you have yet to tell, how your daddy died and your brothers, victims of life on earth, heard the bell. Abused, shattered, depressed, and sometimes hopeless. I see you, Mama, reaching for me through the photo, gray, like some memories, wishing for equality and sipping from a faucet designated for colors, eating in a special section of a restaurant and sitting on the back of the bus, then going to work at the factories of cropping, sharing nothing, really, but the food you planted, the fabric you weaved, and the house you built. I see you, Mama, staring at me, warning me of this life, how like walking to get water from the well to wash, cook, clean, drink was hard. Like our people from Northeast Africa, dark, strong, tall, chosen, had it hard roaming the deserts and escaping hate. Mama, I see you connecting with me, forecasting my fate and giving me hope to my heart and dreams and visions in my mind. Mama, I see you, soulfully me, hair entangled and nappy with grease, poor in some ways, rich in others, but still no shoes on your little feet. Skin brown, sugar buttered from the southwestern heat, hands together, glad to have met, holding me, wishing for better days, lips clenched, afraid, stressed, worried, and yet knowing we will be free, watching the sunset. Mama, you see me, beautiful and glorious and purposefully free. Justice. I feel the torture of my people and the terror tears away at my spirit. My heart cries out to save them. My fight is focused on their liberation and mine. I wear this mask with a demure smile, and like forced entry, my lips part and my teeth appear. And the shadows just standing there for the comfort of you, to ease your betrayal, to redeem your guilt. And I choose not to violate you. So I press my lips like a tightly balled fist. And yet I wear the masks, trying to overlive this life handed to me, every day struggling to thrive. I wear this mask with a smile. It hides my scars and mutes my screams. The howling yelps in the midnight go unheard because I put on this mask with the rising of the sun, smiling like the ends of an upright rainbow. But my soul silently mourns the death of my ancestors and my dreams deferred. And I try to sing, but the oppressive bars trap my freedom. They deny me of my rights. And the mask creates a complicity that enslaves me. I am persecuted with their deception, and they lead me on. They allow me to have their freedom. And I am used and abused. So I wear this mask. I wear this mask to survive. To survive in this world that does not accept me. And still, I smile. I wear this mask disguising my sorrows. I smile when I should cry. Not for you, but for me, hoping I could heal myself. With the grins I'm in by ignorance and questioning of my intentions. It does not matter whether I converted or if I was born of a Jewish mother or father. I am a Jew, so what is the bother? Refuah Shlema. I need a place to recover and renew. I need a space to heal and repair, restoring my soul from a world of despair. This is my life as a Black Jew. So I answer the question most unapologetically. What is being a Jew to me? Torah and prayers, Israel, Africa, and the Red Sea. Songs and hope, challah and wine, history and holidays, a cuisine without swine. What does being a Jew mean to me? Lighting candles, healing the world and cooking with my family, challah in Hebrew, learning continuously, celebrating my culture. This is me as a Jew. I am a Jew that knows I belong, so I hold my head up high and I sit at my own table in my own community. Determined to hold fast to my dreams, I create my own and sing my song of ahava, tikva, and unity. I am a Jew that happens to have beautiful dark brown skin. I am the chosen people, and I have found peace within. My faith is not determined by others' denial of me. My belief in the Almighty will never waver because of others. I come from Shalom,
So you can ask about me via email, text, or phone, because I am authentically me, and I am home, living my best life, Jewishly. Any questions, anything y'all wanna share?
Did you say the name of the place was in Texas?
So it's Washington County, Texas. It's like near Brenham. Yeah, Washington County.
Washington County.
It's about 3 hours from Houston.
3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Going towards Mississippi,
Uh,
New Orleans, which way you gonna
Mississippi would be better, yeah.
You said Sweet Road?
Swede, Sweed Road, and the Texas Historical Commission has the story.
Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There is a story about my grandmother that I just remembered that I want to share, and I tagged all the stories all the poems I wanted to read to you all, and I can't find this one right now, but yeah.
Question.
Yes,
You didn't live on Sweet Road.
I
That
did
was
not.
where your
that's where my mother grew up. Mm-hmm.
parents was.
That's where my mother grew up, yeah.
Are you
Okay.
guys from, I'm sorry, are you
No.
originally from Texas, or did you guys?
I
live,
am,
like Mississippi or something, a lot of times they're starting more deep south and they kind of push out.
yeah, my dad's side of the family, they're from Louisiana.
Gotcha.
My mother's side of the family, they actually came from South Carolina.
Gotcha, yep.
Like many of our
Right.
ancestors came from, they're both from South Carolina. They stayed there, and then the family moved them, well, they're slave owners, moved them to Texas.
Yeah.
But they came from
Louisiana, is that correct?
South Carolina, originally, yeah. Mhm.
Yes,
Right, so I was talking about this being Passover, and there's a poem that we read during Passover that is, talking about splitting of the water and, walking through the desert and journeying with people we didn't know or people we knew, but just wondering and trying to seek freedom. And so I have this book called Global Diversity Haggadah, and I'm going to read this poem about being Jewish and being Black and walking in spaces of synagogues or, going to bar mitzvahs or, always getting this question asked, well, how are you Jewish or why are you Jewish? And I really hate that question. My Jewishness is rooted in my history, and I know that my Jewishness is me reclaiming my history, reclaiming that this is a part of who I am and my family in Africa, right? And so that's how I walk in the room. This is my room. So you asking me why I'm Jewish, my question is, how you Jewish? How are you Jewish? So that's what I say. But the experiences have really been interesting, to say the least. Experiencing anti-Blackness and racism and white supremacy in Jewish spaces. And so I have this poem that I'm going to read that kind of shares about that experience. What is being a Jew to me? What is being a Jew to me? Mountains and rivers, forests and seas, people smiling with braids and afros, Black like me. Abraham kneels as Sarah sits on the throne. Solomon sings soothing, soulful songs. Pomegranates and etrog fill the air until they are forced in chains with a blank stare. Enslaved for years, wandering for centuries, persecuted and killed because of their faith, oppressed and depressed, they shed many tears, yearning to be respected, valued, and free. What is being a Jew to me?
Hebrews forced to a new land, Israelites roaming the desert, Jews trying to stay alive in any way they can, Hebrew Israelite Jews fighting to survive and thrive in a world that says, you will never be. What is being a Jew to me? Candlelight sunsets, Tanakh to be read, matzo ball soup, sweet challah bread, Havdalah spice, Elohim's chesed, saffron and rosemary rice, red wine flowing like blood in my veins, transporting energy to my life, and facilitating clairvoyant transparency, tikkun olam and tzedakah, transforming my community. A Mitch am I, doing good and being a person of morality, kindness, and love. This is being a Jew to me. Baruch atah Adonai. Who am I? Black Jew woman, Hadassah, I am, fighting to be free in a nation of injustice and a country that does not value me. What is being black and Jewish to me? My life and those with the color of my skin struggle through discrimination, racism, biases, and prejudice, even within our own community. Our own community of white Jews, some assimilated supremacists, when all I want is love and unity and to be understood and given a meaningful opportunity, but I am denied in my white Jewish hood because of suspicion, fear, and racism. They don't allow me and anyone like me with dark skin to lead and grow, and they say no. So I stand unapologetically without sin, never to allow anyone to destroy my dream and the truth that I know, always remembering the words of Moses, let my people go. What is being a Jew to me? Injustice and inequity, suffering from the hatred of our country. We walk the roads, streets, and highways, protesting a nation of insanity. We demand peace and justice and respect for our humanity. What is being a black Jew to me? Despite all the racism outside and inside of my own community, the love for myself and my devotion to Hashem is not determined by ignorance and questioning of my intentions. It does not matter whether I converted or if I was born of a Jewish mother or father. I am a Jew, so what is the bother? Refuah Shlema. I need a place to recover and renew. I need a space to heal and repair, restoring my soul from a world of despair. This is my life as a black Jew. So I answer the question most unapologetically. What is being a Jew to me? Torah and prayers, Israel, Africa, and the Red Sea. Songs and hope, challah and wine, history and holidays, a cuisine without swine. What does being a Jew mean to me? Lighting candles, healing the world and cooking with my family, challah in Hebrew, learning continuously, celebrating my culture. This is me as a Jew. I am a Jew that knows I belong, so I hold my head up high and I sit at my own table in my own community. Determined to hold fast to my dreams, I create my own and sing my song of ahava, tikva, and unity. I am a Jew that happens to have beautiful dark brown skin. I am the chosen people, and I have found peace within. My faith is not determined by others' denial of me. My belief in the Almighty will never waver because of others. I come from Shalom, so you can ask about me via email, text, or phone, because I am authentically me, and I am home, living my best life, Jewishly. So tell me, like, what type of poem would y'all like for me to read? I kind of want to make this a little interactive. What kind of poem would y'all like for me to read? I have a little bit of everything.
Good choice.
What kind of poems you have?
Huh?
What kind of poems you have?
A little bit of everything. Nature, love, more Jewish stuff, history, social activism, death, politics,
Parenting.
Yes.
Parenting.
huh?
Parenting.
Parenting. Oh, it's a good one. Okay. Parenting. So,
I'll be able to tell you.
this book, this poem I'm gonna read is a poem I actually wrote for my son. And, let me just find it. A poem I wrote for my son at his bar mitzvah. And poetry, y'all know the word, spells, right? Like spelling and spells. Writing is a spell. Spelling. Yes, okay. So when you write, you create intention, and it's just looking like what? But it for real, like it is. So when you're writing, you're spelling. And in spelling, I said, I am going to spell to my son as he stands at the bima for his bar mitzvah. I'm going to create intention for him, and wish him well as he journeys in the next part of his life. And this one is called Nile.
How old was he when you wrote that?
My son, 13? Yeah, bar mitzvah is usually like 13. Yeah, bar mitzvahs, yeah. So, and my daughter, she had a bat mitzvah and she was 12 in hers, so the girls do a year earlier and the boys do a year later. So it's called Nile. Nile is my son's name. Nile is the son of my soul. He is the river that flows through the arteries of my heart. He is the life-giving source that meanders through the spirit land and celebrates our ancestors through his song. Nile is the river that keeps giving and flowing and being. Nile's heart is as pure as the waters cascading in Zimbabwe. He cares for people, and his love moves through the motherland like the river Nile. It gives life to the people and nourishes the spirit. To experience the Nile is pure joy. Nile, you are the son of my soul. Like the roar of the river and the smooth run of its song, like the strength of its reach and the power of its essence, you are the river Nile, and you will make it far. Nile, you keep reaching for the stars dangling in the midnight. Your ancestors are guiding you in every star, leading you to new paths. Be of good character and move through every life challenge. Overcome the boulders that are put in your way and drown out the doubt and fear that holds you back. Know your power. You are courageous like the river Nile. You give life to everything you touch, and you are the energy that rules the moon, the winds, and the land. You are the movement that creates the rhythm of nature, the circle of life, and sings songs to the soul of the earth. You, Nile, will make a difference in the world. You will be the stories of the people, never forgetting your love. So know who you are and whose you are, and claim your throne under the sun. Sir Nile, you sit high and you hold your head up. Embrace your uniqueness and know who you are. You are the descendant of greatness and the life-giving source of the land, and you matter. Your life is valuable and my black boy joy. As you grow to be a man of integrity, stand proudly, walk firmly. You are the power of the river, the source of life, and the sun of my soul. Move through this world and claim your glory. The past, present, and future flow within you. You will achieve your dreams and be who you want to be because you know who you are and whose you are. You are a king, and you embody the greatness of your ancestors. Never forget, you are the power of the river, the circle of life, and the sun of my soul. I hope for you, I dream of you, and I love you. Nile, you are the power of the river, the source of life, and the sun of my soul. So I tell now, we will in the house, and I'll say those words to him. Now you are the source of the river, son. He's like a rose in his eyes. But I know he likes it. I know he likes it.
He loves it.
How old is he now?
He's 16 now.
He loves it. He just
Yeah,
planted
so-
those seeds in there. That's
Yes.
what's in there.
Yeah, so it's a reminder
That's right.
to him who you are. When I say those 3 words, he knows it means a lot. It means I love you, I'm here for you. It means remember who you are, your power. It means all of that. And so, yeah, I do that. And
How did he feel when you wrote that for him?
he didn't know.
Embarrassed?
No, he was emotional. He was really touched.
Okay.
But he didn't, I cried reading it. Like I kind of had to work through it, reading it. But he was touched, yeah.
Now you
But
did one for your daughter, you said, as well?
I did one for her as well, for her bat mitzvah.
And she was the same way, how did she feel?
Yeah, same thing, yeah, she
Yeah.
was. I'm happy that they appreciated it.
Yeah, I was thinking about when you read it to now, because we were online, because this was during.
Oh,
the
yeah,
COVID.
'cause
Yeah,
it was on COVID.
yeah.
Okay.
And so we were online, and I'm listening to you read this poem about your son, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. I mean, it was awesome.
Thank you. Y'all, I used to live in Harlem. Somebody from Baltimore, right? Where? Maryland.
But not both.
Look at
side.
that.
That's a different side. There's a different,
Yeah.
there's some different people on that side. I'm from the DMV side. On this side of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Now, usually when people, I'm sorry, I'll just make you laugh. Usually people say Maryland, if they'll say they're from Baltimore. They won't say they're from Maryland.
oh,
They'll say I'm from Baltimore. When you hear Maryland, it's everywhere else.
I got
Yeah,
it.
they got their own little subsection.
Okay, yeah, that's funny, yeah. So I lived in Harlem, I went to school there, and I just loved Harlem. So I went to Columbia, and there were not many of us. And I would walk to Harlem just to experience Black people, Black culture, and seeing, and I would have to do it for my mental health, like at least twice a week, just walk to Harlem. And I was there before they kind of quote unquote cleaned it up, before it's the Times Square looking Harlem, right? And but it was beautiful, just beautiful experience of just us in our element. And so I wrote a poem about that Harlem. And that Harlem I really miss. When I go back to Harlem, I just shake my head like gentrification. And, it's just, so I'm gonna read this poem called Harlem. I remember Harlem when the streets came alive. Harlem captured the rhythm of the heart of its people as they danced to the joyful music of street drums, sales, and bargains. Some people meandered like smooth molasses dripping down Frederick Douglass Boulevard. Others walked with purpose down the bustling 125th Street like a pride in the Serengeti. I remember Harlem as rich as the black diamonds that sparked down the sidewalks of St. Nicholas Avenue. I remember entrancing aromas of spices, sandalwood, sage, and sugary sweets. I remember Harlem full of inventors, artists, and educators creating the robust culture of a powerful people who electrified the alleyways, breezeways, and roadways. I remember that Harlem, and I wonder where it has gone. Somewhere beyond the skies is a new Harlem heaven, and sometimes that Harlem is in my dreams, never to be forgotten. Like a living legend still breathing life in the souls of its people, I remember Harlem.
Dr. Johnson-Morgan, could you tell us about your books? Because you've written multiple books.
I
Could you
have.
tell us a little bit?
Sure. So, so let me share the, this book, Butterflies and Fields of Corn, was a book I wrote after my grandmother passed away, my paternal grandmother. It's more of an autobiography to me. It tells the story that I was willing to share at that time, but it's my story of kind of my childhood and some things that I went through. So I kind of call this book my biography a little bit. So Butterflies and Fields of Corn. Ahava, Soulful Shabbat Meditations, Motivations, and Affirmations by a Black Jew. This is very specifically related to me being a Black Jewish woman and needing content for Shabbat. And I am Reformed Jewish, so like I meditate on Shabbat, and I wanted some meditations that reflected my experience. And you'll see in our community, it's very white-centered and Ashkenazi-centered. And I wanted something that was reflective of us. We are a very diverse community, and so that's what this is.
I do have a question about
Yes.
that, because I know right now it seems like most of the community is white, but I've been told by several people that the history of Jews, that the blacks were like the first Jews. Do you know anything about whether that might be true or not?
Yes, I came home.
Okay.
Yes.
Say it loud.
Yes. So then this book I have is Resilient Hope. And Resilient Hope really came from my hardcore like activism in the streets in Atlanta. I'm one of the co-founders of Alliance for Black Lives, and so we planned like marches and boycotts and all of those things. And before I got on the school board, that was an activist. so yeah, now I'm bringing it to the board, but I can't help myself. Anyway, and so this is Resilient Hope, and it just kind of really shares that journey of fighting for the people and what that means. And I would tell anybody, anytime, if we had more people who were in the streets, more activists and advocates running for political office, I think we would be in a much better place, because there's a calling and there's a moral consciousness that won't allow the political nuance and games to then come into play in how you're fighting for the people. You know that you have to always fight for the people and put the people first before you. Like, there's a sacrifice that's required. And I think we know that. And so I think that's just an important training ground for people who are in politics to embrace that. So that's where Resilient Hope kind of comes from. And then this book, I said, I read some from this book. It's Global Diversity Haggadah, and the Haggadah really is the story that, like, when you are at a Seder. So for Passover, which is now, tonight, you eat, and with family, and then there are different items on the plate. We call it a Seder plate, and the different items have different meanings. So as you sing songs and as you read the story of freedom, there's like a way you have to, well, not that you have to do it, but there's a way to do it, and in telling the story. And so you eat certain things and you drink wine as a way of telling the story of freedom. So you tell the story about bitterness, and you tell the story about, salty tears and what that means. And so there aren't many Haggadahs that, again, reflect us as Black Jewish people. And so I decided to write a Haggadah that can share our experiences as Black Jews. And that's what this is, a book that is, you walk through the Seder, and you read it, you pass it around, and Mama's in here. I have a book called Mount Sinai, and the way I have Mount Sinai is, she is Moses, the woman is Moses, I believe we are. God could be a woman, right? So, God is a woman, I think, but yes, Shekinah, right? So Mount Sinai is the woman Moses, and so so these I can pass these around so y'all can take a look at this. Now, my daughter actually wrote books during COVID, And she published one. Now the other ones are all done. It's a series. They're all done. But we haven't published them yet because we have to get illustrators and then the cost of it. So it's sitting in her like computer. But eventually we'll get her other pieces done. But she wrote this during COVID. And this is about a Black Jewish girl going to Jewish day school. And she kind of talks about her experience going to Jewish day school, which is also very interesting. And all of her stories about Hannah is about, Esther is the girl's name. It's about Esther going to day school, but then this is the first book. Then the second book is Esther celebrates the holidays. Another book is Esther has her bat mitzvah. And then the last one is Esther's confirmation. So it's a journey of like Esther's story and, experiencing her Jewishness and growing up at Jewish day school.
And how old is your daughter?
Hannah now, actually, my daughter is 17. She'll be 18 in May, and she is reminding me of that constantly. That she'll be 18. And I'm like, why are you reminding me of that? But she will be 18. She's actually in China right now. She lives there for school. So she's there. She's in the 11th grade, and next year she comes home to visit, but she'll be done next summer, graduating. So we're excited about that. But she's in China. She speaks Chinese Mandarin, Japanese, Hebrew. She went to Jewish day school, Hebrew, English, a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of French. She's multilingual. Mm-hmm.
So I'm about to say brag on her because
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
amazing.
right.
She's an amazing young lady.
Yeah.
And
What
if
part of China is she in now?
And she's in Changshu, China. Mm-hmm. Anything else? Like, what? Any questions? Any thoughts?
I want to say,
I like what I heard.
Thank you.
So I heard you say you're on the school board.
Oh Lord.
No. I'm thinking of our kids, nothing to do with that. How are, being that we're having these series to try to bring it out to these communities out here, what programs or how are you able to lend yourself to bringing that into the school system? If I said that right.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what school system you at? You can be like, I'm in
Gwinnett
Gwinnett.
County.
Okay.
And we do have
Yeah.
a very strong relationship with the Gwinnett County Public Library System and lots of programming. And most of them are really for like literacy programming for younger kids. But we do have a very strong relationship with Gwinnett County Public Libraries. And lots of programming, different things. Story time, arts, crafts, language classes for parents that don't speak English as a first language, because we have a huge diverse population of people who speak all kinds of languages. So we have that, job training. I mean, it's sort of like a little mini community center in a way.
Yeah, because there's even the high school graduation program
Oh,
that I'm connected with. And so how can people reach out to you if they want to find out more about you, purchase your books? Please give us that information.
Yeah. So y'all can purchase my books on Amazon. Really, that's the easiest way. You can just Google in Tarece Johnson-Morgan or Tarece, author Tarece, something like that, and it'll come up. But really, my website is a comprehensive site that includes my art. Like, I also paint, and so it includes my art. It includes some theater or dance performances, and then it includes my book. So the website is Tarece Johnson-Morgan. Literally, it's my name.com. That's the artist website. You see, I have to pause on that one because the other one. But it's TareceJohnsonMorgan.com is the website, and you can see all of my books. So before I got married, which Dedra knows me before I was married, I wrote another book. It's not a poetry book, but it's a self-help book. It's called How to Date, Love, and Commit to a Black Woman. I didn't bring it,
because
That was
it's
the
not
one.
poetry, but it's a self-help book. Like I wrote this when I was like a serial dater, and I was like, and it's just like online and meeting like different people, and it was just really interesting experience. And so what I found though was that as the book, I started writing it, it started to evolve into like this self-help book for women to read and less for men. You can read it though, but it evolved about us loving ourselves first before we could love anyone else. And then I also realized that I did date interracial, and I also realized that there is no man on this universe that could love me and connect with me like a black man. It's just not. And I said that in the book. But I do believe that it's a very special man outside of the race that could, but really I because of our histories and our unique experience and how we walk in this world and the things we have to deal with, that love is very powerful. Black love.
And so, I would like to say, does anyone else have a question? You said your father is from Louisiana?
My dad is from
Oh,
Louisiana,
from Louisiana?
Franklin,
Okay.
which is kind of country too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from Louisiana. When you said that, I was just wondering what part of Louisiana.
Yeah, they're from, and then my grandmother, I can't remember the parish right now, but there is a parish where my grandmother is from. It's more like the Creole.
Because is your maiden name Johnson?
Yes, it is, but that's my mother, well, yeah, it's Johnson.
But is that your
That's my dad's,
dad?
yeah, my dad's. So my grandmother's name is Allen.
Interesting. Is your Johnson's actually,
Allen.
some of my family is Johnson. That's how I'm just.
Oh, okay, yeah. So my dad's father, which is where he got his name from, he's from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But his mother, my grandmother, is from Louisiana. And her name is Allen.
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 Yeah. On my mother's side was Johnson. That's why I was just like, well,
Yeah.
when you said that.
Yeah.
Interesting. But your
Well,
poems
thank
that
you
you
so
read,
much.
the mask and stuff, is that in any of your books?
Yes, so the mask is in Resilient Hope.
Is that the?
That's another book, it's on the
Black
website.
Oak.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would like to, before if I have like a goodie bag, and so, but I would like to, thank you all for coming out
Thank you all so
tonight.
much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Johnson-Morgan, and like you said, I mean, I've loved our friendship of
Yes.
all these years, and you're just so amazing, and thank you so much for sharing your stories with us. Hopefully, just like I have been able to connect with you even closer, just hearing your stories and how much we, have in common. And I hope that you guys found something to connect so that you can continue to reach out to Dr. Johnson-Morgan. And again, make sure you follow us. You can follow our upcoming events by following the Winder Public Library. You can also follow me on social media at Emery Rose Photography. I am a photographer, and so right now a lot of things are going through my Instagram page, but I have my blog that I post the stories, and I will feature an article that will include Dr. Johnson and ways that you can continue to, Dr. Johnson-Morgan, and how you can continue to stay in touch with her, and how you can purchase her books. And my blog is DedraWalker.com.